Uganda, and we shall be able to talk more about that. Now, contribute to the show. I'll be able to pick some of your messages online. So go to social media and type in CROOZE FM. I'll be able to read some of that. Spencer, good morning and welcome to the big set. Been a long time coming, a member of the Forum for Democratic Change. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Banyaji. As you've said, my name's Bakesiga Muhangire Spencer. I'm a member of the Forum for Democratic Change. There I can add Katonga faction because if I don't make it, it will make a confusion there because people are always asking which FDC, and that is the situation we are in. Right now, allow me welcome listeners, but on a sad note, in my village in Nyarushanji, Ihambiro Trading Center, a younger man called Dennis, I remember, was lost his motorcycle, and the situation is escalating there. People are doing things that are undoable, lynching suspects and doing what and not. So I was speaking to them yesterday, and I was saying that they should let the law take its course because they are going to make the situation more volatile. And as in the media fraternity, we lost a very inspirational man, the one who has been our mentor for years, the late Elliot Kabangira Magande, and he's going to be laid to rest tomorrow at his home in Wiyanja sub-county. And in addition to that, within my political party, we are building structures, and we had a successful process, and I want to congratulate my fellows, particularly from my district of Rukunjiri. As I speak now, I'm the Publicity Secretary, Information and Mobilization for my constituency of Rubabo. And then at the district level, we have a new chairperson, Mr. Arogias Mugarura, whom we're expecting to serve for 5 years. There was something very interesting. Because of too much love for the retired Colonel Kiza Besige, people wanted him to become a district chairperson. And then,
but that would look like a demotion. But I welcome Hans Spencer to the show, and I want to thank you so much for taking time to come all the way from Rukunjiri to Mbara just to deliberate about the FDC.
Okay.
Councillor Bwanje Dos, good morning and welcome to the big set.
I'm in good shape. Of course, as a matter of fact, you as the president of the as the president of the National Revolution for the Restoration of Uganda, NARU, I wish to extend our condemnation and our suspicion of the mysterious death of the leader of opposition of the Russian Federation, the de facto leader, Mr. Alexei Navalny, who died under very strange, mysterious circumstances. And we, as people in the opposition, we feel concerned, and we send our condolences to the people of the Russian Federation, to the members of his political organization, that is the Russia of the future. And of course, to the members of his family, his wife, his daughter, his brother, and his mother, of course. We are cognizant of the very toxic environment in Russia in terms of politics. Even the brother is on an arrest warrant, and we ask, as NARU, of course, we ask for accountability from the president of the Russian Federation, because as the lawyers say, receipt roctor, that the facts speak for themselves. The person who was in custody in a government prison dies under very strange circumstances, and the only person to account is the president of the federation. And we ask that the people of Russia do not give up the fight for democracy and for the rule of law in Russia, which is, of course, like Uganda, under a dictatorship. And then on the second note, of course, I've heard about the stalemate of the SEC, and I wonder, where does the NRM derive the
we
standing,
shall
the
get
right.
into the topic of
Then, of
discussion.
course, as I am also cognizant of the fact that the Arsenal is on rampage. In spite of the midweek loss, but
Yes,
we continue to reiterate that this is our year, and I want to send a message to the soldiers. You see, it is said that it is the soldiers who fight the war, but the war is won by thinkers. So I want to encourage the Arsenal coach to always have us in mind that every game is important.
Welcome, Council Boy Dos did it.
You are most welcome.
Yes. Peter Mpaka, good morning and welcome to the Big Set.
Yeah, thank you, West J, and our dear listeners. And I also want to welcome our brother Spencer and appreciate you really for traveling that distance to come and be with us here on the Big Seat. And also appreciate the management of CROOZE FM for always allowing us to be here to deliberate on issues of national importance, West J. Maybe for me, what caught my eye were two events that happened in the week. One was the president coming out to tell a section of his friends that he appointed the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Musafiri Robin Anabanja, because she came to him crying. Yes, that's her name. I don't know since when. Maybe the lawyer is here, he will tell us when crying became one of the main reasons that can award somebody a position of being a prime minister in this country. No wonder we see what is happening with the cabinet of fishermen and how the whole of this Chisanja has been about politicking. And actually we've not seen any tangible, real tangible result oriented from the manifesto of the NRM. Then, of course, I was also moved by news that came out on Monday about the Ministry of Education scrapping off or banning away all non-fundamental school fees. We've been making noise here and really commenting seriously, requesting the president to fire the first lady from that Ministry of Education and reshuffle her maybe to another ministry, mainly because of how the policies that we see being implemented in schools have been orchestrated. And one has been about school fees structures. You have school fees for building over decades. If a school wants to buy a bus, then the parent has to contribute 300 for the bus per student. The school wants chicken, wants fruits, they send us money for covering books. They want money for covering books, money for Saturday, money for... So it has been a burden on the parents. So when I saw that news coming out that they had presented a paper in cabinet to scrap off all non-essential school fees, I think it's welcome news.
Let's stop for a break. We'll be coming back into the topic of discussion. But I want to appreciate you, especially all those that took time to vote for me. Yesterday, the School of Law at BSU, we had an election where I was voted the president. I want to appreciate every voter that took time to be a part of that. Let's kick up for the topic of discussion after the short commercial break. We'll be right back. Good morning.
It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 25 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. Good morning once again. My name is Wesige Banyaji. We on air and online on www.cruisefm.com/stream and on Cruise TV for those that want to enjoy the visuals there. It's seamless like that. Just go on YouTube, type in Cruise TV. You'll be able to watch the big seat all the way up to 11. Where we're ending the show. But if at all you want to be a part of the discussion this morning, call in on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. My name is Wesige Banyaji. The big sit happens every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. What we do is we sit, talk about everything has to do with Ugandans, be it politics, the social aspects, economics, the law, the military, everything. And it's no exception this morning. We're talking about the multi-party dispensation. We know what's happening in the NRM. Confusion. The FDC is long lost and dead. The NOP, when we hear what's happening between Mpuga and Chaguranyi and Masaka, there is no hope. Isn't it right to say that Uganda was just never ready for the multi-party dispensation and we just have to go back to individual merit? With me in studio is Muhanjere Spencer. He belongs to the Katonga faction of the Forum for Democratic Change. Peter Mpaka, National Inter-Platform. Council Bwenje Dos Didit, who is a member of NALU, a very unregistered political party. And we're joined by a big seater, long-time big seater, John Turinawe. And what we are going to be discussing this morning is something that we've had all the way through since we, I think, voted in 2021. Is there politics of parties or simply individuals? We know what happened in SET. They had a meeting where it was unanimously agreed that the matter between PLU and Museveni Tobacco Main is a matter between father and son to just figure out. And let me start with Spencer. On this week, you had a meeting of the National Council of FDC at Katonga where you agreed to create a new formation. Yes. And some of these things General Muntu talked about, that as a matter of time, we shall see what will come out of the FDC. And it's been very short. We know that very prominent members of that party have already stated that they will not be running under that flag. What is in the FDC?
Thank you very much, Mr. Banyaji. What you have said is extremely very true, because all the political parties we have in the country are nearly dead. I was one of those who were not comfortable with the return of multi parties here in the country, because in my wisdom I knew all this was going to come because of the fact that politicians, as I always say, by nature, they are fortune hunters. Someone can be in NRM, but he's not NRM. So in case he sees that he has no opportunity to survive in NRM, maybe he wants a political seat, he just has to go into another political party, mainly to create confusion. Now, it is very true that very soon a new political party will be formed out of FDC, because, honestly speaking, the Katonga faction is FDC, but unfortunately, it is not legally recognized. That one we have to admit. The FDC we belonged to, the one of Najana Nkumbi now, was taken over by Museveni. We all saw what happened, and I think we came here and discussed about it, and it was all over in this country. The skirmishes that took place at the headquarters, that thing had not started then, but there were internal fights within the political party. After failing to resolve them, that's when a new Katonga group was formed, and it became not official legally, but it became official because some members, senior members, were not allowed by the virtue of their beliefs to stay in Najana Nkumbi, because they had seen that the party had already been taken by the Museveni and his group. simply because.
But how can we sit here and allow you state certain things to be facts?
Yes, things like
where was Museveni in FDC? Museveni is not a member of the Forum for Democratic Change.
He's not a member, but he
refer to the right members of that party. If they were
Yes.
influenced by the invisible hand of General Museveni,
Yes.
it should be stated that way. But for you to say
Yes.
Museveni and group, it is to imply that President Museveni is working and has office at Najana Nkumbi.
No, it is true. It is true that he has no office at Najana Nkumbi.
Yes.
But he infiltrated into the party, and members, senior members, the leaders were compromised. Those who had power to run the party, they chose to sell the party to the State House and its group. That's what I was trying to say. So
No. Let's allow.
let me continue. I'm still making my submission.
Yes.
And you will get to understand.
Yes.
Now, a new political party will be formed in this way. The entire fraternity of FDC Katonga has been building structures in the name of FDC.
Where are those structures being built?
Everywhere in the country. In fact, you have just concluded. You have heard that we have had a national council, which is a council of all the chairpersons of the districts. Each and every district.
But some of the members that are spearheading the new
Yes.
formation have created confusion in so many political parties. How do you get to trust them?
Like who?
The so-called interim president, the
Yes.
Lord Mayor, is very known for being all over the place, being a busybody in political parties.
But now
and
he's
being
but now he's FDC.
yes.
He is a member of FD. He's the Lord Mayor.
How do you
of
get to
Kampala.
trust such a man?
Sorry.
How do you get to trust such a man?
We have to trust him because he's part of us. If he tries to cause confusion elsewhere but not within us, it's no, we have no problem. But for us, we are still trusting him and we believe in him. That's why we assigned him to be our interim president in the circumstances that we were in.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Councillor Bwenje, you badly want to give us information, but yes.
To make an inquiry from him, was he elected as a representative of FDC or a faction of the FDC?
Who?
You.
I used the word interim president.
No. You said that you have been recently appointed or elected
Me?
by your people. Yes.
Yes,
as a
myself, a publicity secretary
Yes.
for my constituency.
So
Yes.
for the FDC as a party or for a faction of the FDC?
A faction of FDC which is in Katonga.
So the FDC as a party has no representative there
Where?
in your constituency.
What I was trying to tell you
Yes.
is that we are building structures. Those structures we have already built are going to be transformed into a new formation that is coming.
Okay,
For us, we follow
fine.
ideology, we don't follow
Okay.
personalities.
So you
Yes.
don't represent the ideology of the FDC as a party,
Right now,
but you follow the ideology of a faction of the FDC.
Exactly.
I understand.
You can borrow the principle in what happens in South Sudan, where we had the SPLM in opposition and SPLM in government. So that's what you should borrow the principle therein. But let me allow you, Councillor Bwenje, on the aspect of multi-party dispensation, were we really ready?
Yes,
we
were,
cast a
and,
referendum,
yes,
and General Museveni opposed.
2005.
He did not want these things because
Yeah,
perhaps
no
he
choice.
predicted. And now 2005, about there we go cast a referendum.
Yes, and
we overwhelm those.
And yes is about 92.7%.
Yes, and here we are.
favor of the
It has never been peace in any political party.
Yes.
When you hear what is happening in the NRM, it makes you think that the NRM is simply about General Museveni. The FDC has never moved on past the Besige. We know Mjisha Muntu as aunt, and them are just one and the same. Is the NUP without Chagulanyi literally is nothing? So why don't we just reverse back to individual merit?
No. You see, political parties are a vehicle for the representation of the people on a large scale, and they are very inevitable in every democratic space. And of course, I'm not trying to mean that they don't have their internal disadvantages, but these internal contradictions are very inevitable and actually very important for the success of the party.
But if
as
at
a
all they
political
lead
vehicle.
to a breakup, if
Yes.
they lead
You
to
see,
fragmentation
as a
of
lawyer,
all,
you see,
yes.
a political party is more or less a marriage. When there are these differences in a marriage, which are very inherent, very entrenched, very irreconcilable, so that the marriage itself cannot be salvaged, it can be saved, it is irretrievable. Then I usually advise the spouses who come to me as a lawyer to get out of the marriage. Because it is better that's for you to get out and stay alive and do what you want than stay inside and die from there. So if the members of the FDC don't have peace therein and they feel that their leaders are compromised,
do you
and
believe
they do not represent
concur
the interests of the FDC as a party, then they have every right to move out.
Do you concur with people that say the division simply is not natural, rather orchestrated by the invisible hand of the president, who's the chairman of the NRA?
No, you see, me, I don't blame him. I blame the people who took the bribe. I don't blame Museveni because, as of course, you see, that is his nature. That is his nature. The problem is with the leaders of the FDC. The moment they accepted that money from him, then the FDC was no more. So people who have a contrary view, like him and maybe BSJ Andrew Kwago, and of course my friend Denmark, I think they have every right to move out and form their own what. And it's not about the number of political parties that we have. It's not about the number. It's about the kind of service which they offer to the people of Uganda.
But if at all the majority, and me, this is what I find obnoxious. If the majority of the people in the FDC look like Besigye, and you see this is the lie.
Yes.
Majority of the people in FDC may not look like Besigye, may not identify with whatever that he's standing with. Because if the majority in the party were identifying with the opinion and the standing of Dr. Besigye, they would overwhelm the minority at Najana Nkumbi. But it literally means this is a cahoot of people that are very isolated and small. The Mohanjiris that literally cannot even overwhelm the Nandaras that they're talking about.
They have even tried.
Otherwise, they would fight to retain and get control of their Forum for Democratic Change.
What in other words you are saying that they are being moved by their own selfish interests.
Yes.
Of course, even they have tried to go to the course of law, and the application for a temporary injunction was also rejected. So I think they are desperate. They don't have where to go. They are not safe in the FDC, and they also find themselves, I think, caught between a rock and hard place. They see that 2026 is near, and yet they are nowhere. So they must find a home.
Okay, thank you.
By the end of 2024.
Let me bring in Peter. Peter, we know for sure that the forces within the NUP that have kind of enticed particular members of the NUP to get closer. Yes, that's okay. We know for sure that the members of the FDC that have studied the environment, they know NUP is the biggest political party right now. They know Chagulanyi is the biggest contender against the incumbent, whether it's MK or YK. And they are reading through these things, and certainly they say, why stick in the FDC that has had a very consistent decline in representatives in parliament? Rather, why not associate with NUP that literally is giving an assurance to them to get back to parliament and have influence in the opposition? Are you having a hand in the split in FDC?
Thank you, SJ, for that question. But for me, as I try to answer your question, I would want to say that the politics of largely Africa are not based on systems, are not based on parties, they are based on individuals. Because even when you scrutinize the NRM
but if you say Africa, we know the CCM, we know ANC, parties that have had
largely, I use the word largely.
Okay.
So there may be a few isolated cases like in South Africa or
Angola,
Tanzania, and maybe other places. But when you look at, I want to, as I come to answer your question, look at NRM. Does NRM operate as a party? It doesn't.
But SEC just met the other day.
They met. What did they come up with? They came up with something meaningless. Like Solomon said in the Bible, it's all vanity, it's all vanity. They were just wasting time sitting there because they could not make a stand and say, we are for this. Look at my own party, NUP. We are all there because Bob Wine is there. Bob Wine, my president, is our face. Look at why Spencer is here advocating for Katonga is because the Najana Nkumbi faction does not have an electrifying leader in Power and Nandala. If
they lack charisma.
Exactly. If that group had a Semujunganda sticking in there, I'm telling you, most of these guys would still be in the Najana Nkumbi and finding all ways of debating, defending actually the evil money which they say they received from president, because they still see opportunity under the leadership of a certain charismatic leader. So the lack of that electrification in Power and in Nandala is what is causing this other group of people to run away. Number two, the NRM has mastered the art of owning everything that happens in this country.
But they are not responsible for the confusion between Mpuga and Chagurani.
Because you see, they also say that Mpuga is ours. You will hear a group saying Mpuga or your NRM is being used by President Museveni, when actually there is even nothing going on.
They want to own the narrative.
Yes, I want to be clear on this. You may even find that the money that these FDC people received was maybe even came as good money to help them maybe pay their, because I had
from
that
who?
story.
From who?
From wherever it came from. For me, I don't want to stick to that money. But me, I want to say that money could have come even to pay agents during the election. But because a certain group of individuals received it who lack the charismatic leadership and the call to pull followers, then there is a split. So for me, West, I want to say NUP, FDC, NRM, I think in Africa or in Uganda, largely as we are discussing, we need to actually, like the question you're putting it, should we keep following parties or we should follow individuals? Because me, when I see the whole situation, we are just followers of certain individuals, and if those individuals are not there, then the whole system seems to be in total confusion. So as we run to 2026 election, I think it's a call for us to reflect on ourselves, especially the opposition, because right now we should be actually more of coming together. If this Katonga, me, I've always called for reconciliation of these people. They should reconcile and bring together their forces. Okay. Like they had put this United Forces of Change, something. I thought that would even be making one umbrella for all of us to confront one enemy, which is the dictator, who is President Museveni.
Let's stop for a break. When we come back,
counter for a show.
Thank you, Peter. We're stopping for a breather. When we come back, John Turinawe will give us whatever that is happening in the NRM. Especially, are we having General Mohozi or General Kaguta? After the break. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's about 15 minutes to the top of the hour here on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. With me in studio is Council Wenje Deus Didit, who is a lawyer, Peter Mpaka, National Unity Platform, Spencer Muhanjere, Forum for Democratic Change, Katonga Faction, and John Turinawe, ardent big seater for very many years. John Turinawe, we know that the Central Executive Committee of NRM sat about this week, and there was no conclusion on whether the party should follow the Patriotic League of Uganda or stick with Mzee Tabakumain. What was in there, and what can we know that transpired, and what are the results of that meeting before we get into the politics?
Thank you so much. The such meeting was held yesterday under the chairmanship of the National Vice Chairman, Alhaj Moses Chigongo. And it was not to decide on whether the party should back either General Hozkini Rugaba or His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. It was particular about members of the same committee, especially SEC, that are seen in PLU, and whether that is okay or it is not. So it was just general about that. It was not a decision of where the party should be, because...
and what was the position of SEC then?
That I'm saying.
Let's allow him.
But you see...
No. Peter, he kept quiet, allowed you to make steps. Please don't create disorganization, Peter. Have decorum. He kept quiet with a lot of humility. No. Whether they are facts or not, let him state them. Have a piece of pen, have a paper, and you respond.
But why don't you even allow him to speak? Because I don't see what he's going to say to talk about. It is my time. You allow him.
It is this time. Let's see.
When you stop him, it is as if he has a burning big point of you have no idea.
Yes, let him speak.
He has ceded space for you.
Yes. So for me, I want to disagree with John and call on him to stop using propaganda and bringing propaganda on the big city here to confuse our listeners.
What is the point?
Come here to teach you what propaganda means.
Yes.
It is clear that the resolution of SEC was that they have left the presidency candidature to the president and his son to decide. They didn't mention anywhere any SEC member being part of the PLE, primary living exam, whatever.
Okay.
Yes.
No, but you see what I was telling you? They listen outside there. Thought that this man has information that they don't have. And there is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So what has he said anyway?
Okay.
So yesterday's search, of course he has.
Let's allow it.
Said nothing.
Yes.
Now, next time people should use the right language.
Yes.
Nobody said in search yesterday that the president and his son should determine whether the party should be called NRM, who should be the flag bearer, because there is a process of how one becomes a flag bearer of the NRM. There is a process.
So my question to you, John, is what did they arrive at?
I am saying,
should members of SEC like Captain Mike Mukula be seen in PLU? Is it something that they consented about?
You see, PLU, or whatever you want to make it, at least for now, is a registered civic organization. Whether that is the intention, whether whatever aims and objectives that were set out in their registration process is what they intended to do in the near future, is their business. As for now, legally, they are a civic organization, and there is no any law, there is no anybody, there is no any authority or part of any party that can gag someone, that can stop someone from being a member of any civic organization. Nobody can do that. So the biggest issue was
but perhaps
how should we conduct ourselves as members of such amidst this civic organization that some people look at with political lenses. That was majorly the issue. And the president's absence was intentional. It was not that he was extremely busy, because he would have arranged a such meeting or at his appropriate time when he's free, but it was to let other people, especially other members, because here we are talking about his son. So he said, okay, if you're talking about him, I gave my honest opinion in Chankwanzi, meeting all leaders of the NRM.
And what was his position?
When?
What was his opinion on PLU and MK movement?
President Museveni?
Yes.
No, I'm saying yesterday he was not in the meeting. The meeting was chaired by Alhaji.
No, I'm saying you said the president stated what he thought about
PLU was not there then. What he
yes.
said about MK movement, he said that he met them. He had met the CC, the Central Committee, and he guided them on which fields to be tackling, that they should be engaged in fighting corruption, in sports, talking about the youth. That's what they are. And he was essential.
Yes.
That some people following them,
yes,
some
are self-seekers.
He said
petrol.
Yes.
And now that the our senior members of the party wanted to talk about it, we said, okay, I think I should do.
But John,
my
John
is fumbling with words.
Yes.
So I'm the one speaking and you're saying I'm fumbling.
Yes, because you are speaking, but you are not communicating.
Yes.
According to me.
Yes. Yes. Let them communicate.
Because we are aware that there was a stalemate.
Yes.
And this is an output of SEC. So when he comes here and says they didn't say anything about the stalemate between PLU and Museveni, then he's lying, and we cannot accept that.
I am saying
the people of Uganda.
Okay.
You don't
but perhaps something that I would ask John before we even go further. If President Museveni had a problem with whatever PLU and Muhoozi movement is doing, wouldn't he have stopped it? Because we know who General Museveni is. If he's against a position or an initiative, stopping it is a snap.
And he has started by ceding his power to the CDF, which is illegal and unconstitutional.
We shall get to that.
What he should be doing is to cede that power to the vice president, not the commander. I mean, not the CDF.
Okay. Yes.
You see, I said it is very important that you let these people speak.
Yes,
but they are speaking.
And you see that, because when you don't, people will think you are stopping them from making some good points.
Yes.
Because you are not there anyway. I am saying,
yes,
the National Resistance Movement Party Central Executive Committee that was convened yesterday, the major issue yesterday they were discussing was not who are we from.
No one has talked about the major issues.
So when you say that there was a stalemate between Museveni and Muhoozi, it is as if there was a discussion on whether we should go with Museveni. That was not there. That's number one. No. There was no stalemate. Stalemate is in people's heads. That's number one.
Where
number
is this information coming from?
Number two. Wait a moment. Number two.
Yes.
There was no any single issue that was discussed as long as NRM presidential flag bearer was concerned. The main issue was purely administrative. How should we handle senior members of the party who hobnobbles a civic organization but that is looked at as a political organization?
And what was the resolution?
Number two, what happens in the resolution was that anybody in this country is allowed by law to associate with any civic organization in any political party. Aren't
you going to see a situation where members of the NRM literally shift to LUP, to PLU, simply because of the position of SEC?
This is why you are not. This is what I wanted to communicate to these people, that if PLU,
yes,
at one particular moment wants to register as a political party, or if it does so, you are likely to see either a mega shift in the people in the national resistance movement or even leaders, or we are likely to see a competition between a new party called PLE that is having most majority of its members as NRM and then the NRM. But for now, just briefly, for now, what is very clear is people think that if General Muhoozi wants to run as president, he will run under the NRM. So when that time comes of choosing who the flag bearer is, I'm saying the people. I'm not talking about. Yes. I may not tell you.
Let's come back.
I have. Yes.
Let's
but
come back
now,
in the second
when
round.
time comes, probably next year, of choosing the flag bearer, those of us who choose the flag bearer, who know how we do it, nobody is going to teach us how we choose our flag bearer. We know. So we shall do that process next. As for now, there is no discussion of who becomes the flag bearer because the search does not do that.
Let's meet up in the second hour. Good morning.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great.
We're back. It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. The Big City is on. Be able to catch us online on www.cruisefm.com/stream. And on Cruise TV, YouTube, and TikTok is where we are. Seamless like that. With me in studio is, I think all political parties are truly represented here on Plot 12. Bwenje, those did it. He's a lawyer. NUP's Peter Mpaka wearing the red beret. And Mahanjere Spencer, Rubabo County, FDC, and John Turinawe, Big Seater. And I want to appreciate every person that is on radio. And the contributors of the show, I can see you already. The messages are coming in. Levis Mukwase, Mukamatkwase, there. Today, well, I'm failing to read the name, but it's Godwin. and you're in Bar here. Tudiaramya. Yes, Tudiaramya is the name, I think. You're saying first take, majority of politicians, leaders in political parties are fortune hunters. You're saying majority thinking like Besje, that's all a wild goose chase. Majority of our politicians are opportunistic, which is why it's hard to find an MP who is peacefully leaving a political party. I can see you're writing a couple of things with quotes and words. I rather deal with a very authentic opinion that I will be able to read. But let's get to hear from you on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. On Facebook, keep the conversation on. We shall be able to read some of the messages and get to hear from you. Let me pick 1, 2, 3 calls and I get back to the panel. The big said.
Yes, Mr. Daniel.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, what's your name and where you calling from? Oh, it's lost you. The big said.
Yes, Big Six.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Bright Argawa from Ndari City.
Yes, Bright.
This is what I'm saying. Even in this time, I'm saying that.
Turn down the volume of your radio. That's how we shall be able to hear you.
This is what I'm saying. This is the truth. Museveni and his son are playing cards tonight.
Museveni and the son are playing cards on you.
Yeah, let Mr. John there enlighten us more about that thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. The big set.
My friend.
Yes, Agawa, how are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing terrific.
I've been lucky because John is present. And I would like first of all to request him, as you've hosted him, that's how he should always host Enyanj, because
Agawa, go to the matter. Go to the matter at the top of discussion.
To the matter. I remember some time back when General Tinyefuza was designed to present for UPDF, and Rwanga, and finally this Dr. Kanu Chiza Besije. During that constitution, Uganda's government was a bit somehow okay. But I remember when General J.J. Odongo was also to be verified by the parliament. According to that constitution, before they changed it, before this John came and he changed that constitution, there was a bit of sense in politics. But once it changed and General J.J. Odongo was verified, and also Katumba Wamara was also appointed, you see that these are the ones that vulgarizing our political parties. Otherwise, good day to you, Mr. Council.
All right, thank you so much. You are much appreciated. On Facebook, I can see some of your messages. Dan Zuji saying Uganda could be ready for multi-party system, but the government leading, the leader, and has knowledge of political science, financially stable, and that's the general weakness of political parties. Okelo Vincent, you're saying that's how Uganda, when you say Museveni has infiltrated your position. The question is, what do you think about the multi-party dispensation in Uganda? Were we really ready? Musinguzi Enoch, you're saying representing all the way from Wizi, I'm not seeing a reasonable plan of not having political parties. Kabanjra Kahwa, you're listening to the show and you're saying, I think Uganda has no political opposition. Keep the messages coming. I'll be able to read some of the messages. You can see Bamwine Lawrence, Ronald Mukonyeza. Let me come back to studio. I'll be able to pick up from that later on. Yes, Spencer.
Yes.
You just heard from John and the rest of the team here.
Yes.
On whether we were really ready. As you heard from John, for them, he painted a picture of serenity and organization in the NRM. The organs are working and they agree. The meeting came up with a very good resolution and it has nothing to do with whether Museveni or Muhoozi. But what we know certainly is that there is a contest of whether it's Museveni or his son on the ballot come 2026. And it's been very clear. General Muhoozi and his handlers have come out to say we are tired of the old generation, and to maybe just oppose it with the statements of General Kahindo Tafire of we shall not allow Muhoozi to be president. Rather than we shall not support Muhoozi, we shall keep Museveni as president. What is it that these two are doing on the minds of Ugandans for us to understand?
Okay, before I go to that, I want to make some simple clarifications. My friend Mpaka has spoken about having no charismatic leadership in Najana Nkumbi, and that's why we have not gone back there. It is not all about charisma, it is about betrayal. Nandara is a very, very vehement opposition figure, by the way of his mobilization skills and whatnot, the way he has managed to shake the Bugisu sub-region. And you can see the Patrick Oboya Muriat, he was a member of parliament and an active one for 3 terms before he was arrested. So it is not all about lacking charisma, but betrayal, the money that came that brought problems within the party. So, and then he has spoken about decline in representation. As far as I know, when Kizza Besigye was still on the ballot, before he chickened out, we had 36 members of parliament, 36, 37. And now without him, we reduced by just merely 5. I think it was an improvement in the contrary, because you understand the wave that came in, the wave of national interest.
So are you saying that yes, FDC has 31 members of parliament?
Right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to
on
first check.
On that ticket.
I need to first
People
check.
who are standing in parliament on ticket of the FDC, they are 31. We simply lost this one from Soroti. The one who was rigged by NRM, Atan Moses Okia. So that one I wanted to clarify. Then someone has made a call and has said the confusion in the FDC is being inspired by tribalism. I think this is diversion. Yes, because people who ate money.
But is it accidental that you're up and in arms with people that come from the east and those that are spearheading the Mwijuches, the messages come from the west? Would it be blind of a person to come up with that judgment?
But the chief betrayer, Honorable Muzei Jack Sabit, is from the western.
Yes.
The one who negotiated the incoming of the money, he's from the west. Robert Sentinel is from the west. So I don't see where tribalism comes from. And there are people in Najana Nkumbi who are also hobnobbing with Amuriata and power after having been bribed, given money. So I wanted to clarify on that.
Okay.
And then secondly, I have seen an insinuation that people are tired of Museveni, these Otafires and the group and whatnot.
And the historicals. But people are just following Kainerugaba. They are not certain of what is next. You see, Museveni is an intelligent actor. For him, he pretends that things that are being done, he has no knowledge about, he hasn't sanctioned.
For us who witnessed the constitution being abrogated, being raped by the 6th parliament, 7th? Yeah, truth.
About that?
Yeah, around that time. Museveni was the chief pretender. He even told them, please, this is not time to discuss that. And unfortunately, he is the only Ugandan who had no constitutional mandate by that time to stand as a president. But look at what he did. And right now he's just looking at them laughing. He knows what he wants. He knows that as long as where power is going to shift to is where they will go. These MPs you are seeing hobnobbing with Muhoozi Kainerugaba, they will go back to Museveni as long as Museveni turns Kainerugaba down. If Museveni woke up early in the morning and he says it is my wife who is going to succeed me as Janet Museveni, as Honorable Ibrahim Semujunganda said, they are going to be hobnobbing with Janet Museveni. If he woke up and said it is Peter Mpaka, they will look for where Peter Mpaka is.
So these are self-seekers.
They are self-seekers. They are not interested in each other. They are just followers. They are not even members, I can tell you.
But these are card-bearing members of the National Resistance Movement.
But they are just hypocrites. They just pretend, but they know what they want is to survive. workers.
They are just workers. We should put it to John. John, is it very true that majority of the NRM are in a watch and wait and see a situation where we want to see if Mzee completely comes out and legitimizes the Muhoozi movement PLU, we shall quickly go. But there is also a portion of NRM fighters that say we shall not allow Muhoozi to be on the ballot for as long as Museveni is alive.
Thank you so much.
Let's allow him answer that. I'm coming to you, Council.
No, but here you see the management here.
No. Go to the matter, John. Don't create a side show.
They can receive applications for my friend to start hosting because he's now telling you.
Go to the matter.
Ask. Now,
yes.
Every sensible Ugandan, whether a member of the NRM or not, would want to see President Museveni hand over power to another president after a peaceful, universal adult suffrage election. Every sensible Ugandan. So, the issue is hand over power to who? There are the Muhoozi issue is to signify and amplify that message that we love you, Your Excellency.
But the question is, we want to know the feel of members of the NRM. Seeing Museveni putting you on orange, if it's a traffic light, it's neither red or green, you're on orange waiting. We want to be a part of Museveni, we want to be a part of Muhoozi, we don't know where to go.
There is nothing like we don't know where to go. People know where to go. People, let me tell you, I'm talking about people know where to go, and people will know where to go when that time comes. Because for now,
why being futuristic?
Okay, let me ask you. So you want them to follow Muhoozi 2024 to do what?
They are just
because elections. Wait a moment. Elections will be held in January or February 2026. Now, because Ugandans are extremely too redundant, they are not working. Those who are working are on their phones on TikTok. The fast is between 2026 2020. Yes, 2026 is going to come, and it's not very far. But people are asking, you tell us now, why should anybody need an answer on who should be the flag bearer of the NRM now? Like why?
But what is Muhoozi mobilizing to be president?
Sorry,
is Muhoozi mobilizing to be president?
Not just mobilizing to be president. Muhoozi has been prepared to be a leader of this country for the last 30 years. It's not just it is just not mobilizing. Let me
is Museveni still interested in being president past 2026?
I have a feel that President Museveni at 82 may not intend to remain president of this country for two major reasons. Number one, he knows that he will have served for 40 years. President Museveni has trained, has mobilized, has nurtured his son to be president, and he knows the best way to achieve that is when he is president, head of state, fountain of honor, and command of defense forces. So when you leave it to natural,
if you have people that went with him to Ruwero for 5 years and they were of equal rank. He was chairman, high command, and whatever, but the interests were in common that Otafire and Muhoozi were in 1981. So when they say we shall not support this one,
but you see, this is where you get it.
And for you saying
this is where you get it. This is where you get it wrong.
Yes,
there is no any single president.
You are forgetting about us.
I'm giving you an opportunity. I wanted him to clear that, and then I come to you.
In any multi-party democracy,
yes,
there is no way you can have all the citizens of the country vote for you.
Why your son?
We are only saying, President Museveni, if you want to leave power, there is a section of Ugandans who say, for us, we believe in MK. There are those who will say, we want Tayebwa. There are those who will say, we want Kayendo Tafiri. Now, wait a moment. So the issue of, but these ones don't want him. Yes. Even Museveni, a huge number, over 40% of this country, never voted for him.
Even
Chagwan. So yes, the narrative of there are some people who will not vote for you. That's natural. Lastly, the issue of multi-party politics in Uganda, the biggest problem is only and only about financing these parties and running them logistically. You don't have the logistics to run these parties.
No. You've encumbered
this. That's your opinion. Yes,
you've made it very impossible for them to mobilize.
I belong to the NRM.
Yes.
A member of the NRM should buy a T-shirt for himself. They wait for these T-shirts to be delivered to them. A member of the NRM.
Okay.
Wait. A member of the NRM.
Let's allow them. John, thank you. Thank you.
Ask him.
Yes.
I want to ask him some questions.
By you.
I want to ask him a couple of questions.
Yes.
Is Muhoozi a member of the NRM?
He doesn't need to be.
No, is he or not?
But
Yes or no? No, I'm just asking you. You are member of the NRM.
No, but no, asking at the end of the
You can answer. I have answered it.
John, how do you answer?
He is a member of the NRM.
Does he need to be a member?
No. Is he a member of the NRM?
I am saying.
If you don't know, you say I don't know.
Yes or no?
Why not?
No, ask those questions.
No.
You ask Mpaka, ask these questions. No. Don't ask me.
Human is very vigorous.
When we are here,
Yes.
we are accounting to the people.
John, I have decorum. Yes.
If you ask me, is Muhoozi a member of NARU? I would say
Absolutely not.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Is Muhoozi a member of NUP? No, because he's not allowed by law. Okay? Because NUP is a registered party, and the soldier and the serving officer is not allowed by law to be a member of any political formation. So when he says he's not aware if Muhoozi, the serving officer, is a member of the NRM, actually it speaks to the fact that actually they think that he's a member, so they as SEC have a right to debate about whether he's going to be president or not. And of course, I want to state that that meeting and the resolutions from there were null and void, because they have no right at all to talk about the political aspirations of a serving officer of the army. No. So, and I want to.
But you see, that's legalese. What is true is that there is a man called Muhoozi Kainerugaba who doubles as the first son.
Yes,
and he's a general of the UPDF.
You see.
And you see, this is where the opposition gets it wrong, where the lawyers get it wrong. You see, this law thing is nice.
Of course, I know that law does not exist in a vacuum. Yes. I know that.
Yes.
But also, we should do things according to the law. Because if Muhoozi becomes president,
Muhoozi is a member of the UPDF.
Yes.
But he has interests of being president.
No, he should not even have them.
And
he's not allowed by law to even think about being a president.
So you should only develop the interest upon retiring from the
pension or retirement. That's when you start saying,
and he hasn't done any.
I can't
it's
be
not
president.
the status.
Yes.
It's not the status
Yes.
quo. Now what do we do?
So it hurts me. That people like John, who are members of the NRM, are being caught up in a debate which has no legal basis. Are trying to talk about the thoughts of a serving officer vis-a-vis the chairperson of the NRM. And surely, for me, that is absurd. And I want to call upon the members of the NRM to open up their eyes and demand accountability from the NRM, because instead of doing what they were voted to do, they are now in a scuffle of who should appear on the ballot, whether it is a serving officer or a retired officer. Surely, I think that is against the vote of the people of Uganda. And of course, I want also to encourage John and the people of his ilk that every person, you see, every one of us, the 45 million of us, as long as you are a qualified adult Ugandan, you have a right to contest for president. But when he thinks that the first son has been nurtured and
What is wrong? I've clearly stated it here.
To be the president of Uganda.
These lawyers here. That's why you see too much unemployment in lawyers.
Yes.
These lawyers here groom their children to take up farms. Their chambers.
Uganda is not a law firm.
Yes, I'm saying
Uganda is not a law firm.
You are a lawyer.
Yes.
As a human being, nurturing your child to become a partner, managing partner. What is wrong with General Seven? Wishing his son well
to become a partner.
To become
Uganda is not a partnership. Uganda is not a partnership.
After engaging in an election.
No, Uganda is not a partnership. There are very strategic ways indicated in the constitution on how someone becomes the president of Uganda. So Museveni has no right to hand over to anybody his role.
But Museveni has not said he's handing up over to anyone.
See, what he
Museveni is saying, I wish my son to replace me as president. But there is a political party I belong to called the NRM. If this man resigns in the military tomorrow and he joins the NRM and is voted into power, what is the problem?
So let him first resign. You see, my problem.
Which position?
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 27 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Good music, great friends. On CROOZE TV, Nwajira David, you're saying, I think FDC should focus on fighting for freedom of Ugandans than forming a political party that will not even last for a while. Greenwood Shaggy, you're watching from Mbogo Kanoni in Kazo. Thank you. Akanda Naho Abel, you're watching from High Street. Akandi in the Delicious, you're watching from Chikorongo, and I want to appreciate you. Aaron Nasimwe, I see you, and you're at Uganda Technical College, Bishenyi. Akatwijuka Aban, you're in Ibanda. All those that are watching the show, I want to appreciate you all for listening to the Big Set. The petrol stations that have their radio on, and all these other places, the markets, the shops, every other place that is loud and clear with CROOZE FM, the big said, want to say thank you very much. We literally going for the last lap of the show. I want you to be a part of it when you call in on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Peter Mpaka, before I get to the calls, you heard what John said, and what is stopping you from preventing Muhoozi Kainerugaba to be president? Just mobilize the majority and they reject him.
You see, West J, Uganda is not a democratically governed country. And every effort to grow and nurture our democracy is being hampered by the likes of these NRM extremists in John, who think that it is right that the president should nurture for the last 30 years, like he said, his son, only his son, and even if there are any other sensible Ugandans, because for me, I also don't have a problem actually with Muhoozi Kainerugaba. It is in his right to desire to be a president. But I've stated it here before that when you examine and analyze his character and his way of doing things and his way of communication and his whole demeanor around him, you see that there is something wanting in his character.
Why did you join him?
And do you have evidence that I was that I joined him? You see, this is the propaganda. This is the propaganda. This is the propaganda. This is the propaganda of John and the likes of.
When he was here by that time, you even came here.
Myself, I'm here
on this show.
Me myself,
and say
I'm here. Me myself, I'm here. Me myself, I'm here.
You came.
Me, I'm here myself.
Did you come here?
Myself, I am here. Me myself, I'm here. I'm telling you, I'm not part of MK.
Why did you go to?
I am not part of you. I'm not part of you.
Let's allow.
I'm here. Me myself telling you that.
Peter, let's.
I think there's no need for Honorable Mpaka to waste our time. It is on record that he attended that event.
Come and start massaging, and he's lying us, telling us this, and trying to cause diversions. I think it is not what we need on the big city. So for me, I want to tell whether it follows me, wherever it will follow me, I am myself. I am here. I am here, and I'm telling you, I'm not part of PLU, and I've never been part.
John, why does it interest you so much from contributing more relevantly to the topic?
Play his audio.
But allow that to pass.
What he said about the general. He said he has never seen any.
That is a pure lie. You play it. You play it.
Okay,
you play it. Let them play it.
John and the rest of the team here. Let's move away from what happened in Lakeview. What we know is that Peter Mpaka.
Every action has consequences.
Yes, Peter Mpaka wore a Muhoozi Kainerugaba t-shirt, spoke at that event, and clearly said he had been confused.
No, she should invite them and tell them that you confused.
That is also not true. I was not confused. I was not misguided.
Okay.
Me, I have my reasons why I attended, because actually, let me protect your life. There was a move to kidnap me here in Imbarara, and there was a spy following me. And living actually next to my house.
But
so I put on that t-shirt.
Who are you?
I am a Nup mobilizer. I am a former flag bearer of for the Barasi. And the things I say here,
the things an office.
Do you remember the other day when you said they are going to close the radio station because of my submission?
Where did you?
So they wanted to kidnap me.
Where did you?
And I put on that to create this controversy. And by the way, I like it. Let the listener know. And let the listener know. I like the controversy. Because as a any leader, you must be unpredictable.
Okay, please, to the topic.
So let's go with that. Now, what I wanted to submit, this man has even you have confused. You have confused me now with what I wanted to say. But what I want to say, one is that Uganda is not a monarchy for the sitting president to prepare his son for the last 30 years. And Ugandans, let us wake up. You cannot have wastage of state resources, of organizing birthday parties when we don't have roads. Katete Bridge, I've just been told that Katete Bridge has collapsed in. So if you're coming from Katete to town, there is a lot of jam there, and there's even no way to go through.
And you send him to
president.
And you send him to Sandhurst at our expense.
At our expenses, that you're prepared
but for you to think
inherit
that Museveni being in power for over 25 years could not send his child to Sandhurst.
Why is it
out of his pocket?
For me, I can take my children to first class schools.
Yes, because out of your money. Out of the money you hustle for.
Who just out of his salary? So for him, out
of his salary of 150. It was 150.
Mr. Banyaji, let us not be ridiculous. Museveni one time sent her daughter to Germany to deliver.
But that has already been a rumor for over 30 years.
Using state house money, using government, using taxpayers' money. Someone who earns 3.6 million, as he insinuates, he should be in court.
And for me, I want to, you see, my submissions are always contentious, and everyone comes in to confuse me. But one, Uganda is not a monarchy. For Museveni, you see, Uganda is not a monarchy. For President Museveni to use 30 years to prepare his son to inherit his throne. Number two, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba is still a serving military officer. He should either resign or retire if he wants even to talk about politics. I told you on the show, I saw the Deo Akiki. When they brought that topic of PLO, the man went out of studio. He said, I request to refrain from this. So even Muhoozi should refrain as of now. If that time comes that John is talking about 2026, let him leave, and then we can talk about him. In NUP we are ready, rub-dub style to kumuzoganya. Then number three, Ugandans wake up and examine the character of Muhoozi. Muhoozi is just a muchakaze. He's just a lifeist, a freelancer, a free guy. Things of diplomacy he cannot handle. I can't imagine Muhoozi the whole day meeting presidents and discussing fiscal policies, international relations, and whatever he has been meeting them on non-consequentials. So for me, this is my submission. And these guys are submitting a point of information.
You see, a presidential candidate is not judged by character. All right, there are qualifications in the constitution.
Yes.
So I beg the people of Uganda not to listen to what he's saying.
Do you gentlemen believe, especially the three of
relative. Character is relative.
Do you believe in Johnny's assertion that the problem of political parties is zeroed down to finances? What the problem is? Political parties have no money. When they cannot even mobilize, the police cannot allow them to mobilize, and even me.
But FDC is breaking up just because of only 7 billion.
Yes,
money that from the government. Only 2 Rolls Royce, only 2 vehicles, and the entire party was broken.
So for me, I see protected, and that 7 billion can build 10 state-of-the-art hospitals in Uganda, free of charge, where we don't pay anything.
State-of-the-art.
Yes.
How much? When they see the school is 3.5
state-of-the-art.
Yes.
So me, I want to tell Ugandans that this Chisanja, the NRM has managed to waste time, has managed to confuse us with the politics that are of no consequence. And I want to call upon every sensible Ugandans to reject the Muhoozi project, to reject the son, father, because if this thing takes root, then just know that even Muhoozi will leave us with his son, and the son will leave us with his son, and it will be. So me, I want to conclude by saying that join us, the forces that are fighting against this Hima dynasty. Let us fight this Himachwez. Let us fight this Himachwez dynasty and bring it to an end. Uganda belongs to us. Whether it is trivial, but why it is not as trivial as you think. For 30 years, you've been preparing. For 30 years, you've been trying. Because the Bahima are the most tribal.
because you've even been here, John, you've even been here. You've even been
with DSTV. Upgrade for more football and enter the fast lane with Formula One. Upgrade for your
Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
On the final lap of the show, about 18 minutes to the top of the hour on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends. My name is Wesley Banyaji, and it's been very heated here. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. Let me pick 1, 2, 3 calls, and we get into our second topic of the show that we shall be talking about very slightly on what it really meant for President Museveni to cede particular power to the CDF. On the big set.
Yes, Wesley.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, how are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm from Rentua.
Yes.
You know what I say? You cannot eat your cake and still have it.
Yes.
So if FDC sold its party to NRM, let them stop shouting at us.
They have 2 cakes.
Let's go with what is going. About NRM, about
John is saying if a person has 2 cakes, so they cannot eat one and retain the other.
Singular, a cake.
Okay, on 0752912912 and 780912910. Call in and let's get to hear from you. The big set.
Yes, John. Yes, okay.
Yes, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Kenneth from Sheni.
Mm.
But you've brought to John is just confusing others.
Okay.
And even confusing you as a host.
But the panelists are saying they are not as confused.
No, let him go back to Kenya and even I stop.
The big set.
Hello,
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Oh, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Fine. I thank you for running the show in the better way.
Yes.
But I would like to ask you kindly, you are just around me talking because
Please,
our parents...
enjoy. Go ahead.
Okay. Zimazi muhereza kwa CROOZE radio muntu gusima. Amazina James Digran wazini kugarba egashara hosi. Ko kabuzuma ati taguma twazo mu studio tugamba amazuma. Kandi tusina government ahetu ihere kisima mu president Museveni. Awenshonga. Wale yakashata na munara wale bagariya tsangere na hati saheja hituri. Zimazima embere zimegenda nezo misho wale barukumuru enda sana na mukazi barabe na mukazi kukubanza kigambo cya gabengu. This is a fundamental change. Because hatu mureba Uganda ba president bona abutwire
bakwigire kibuzo sebo.
Don't ask him. This is Wenje.
Yankore Wenje.
Kana ari kubuza Museveni akukorera iki?
Kubanza. Atwire ubwenge.
Obusinzi.
Kabiri. Akukuzaho uburumboro ko sanga mu kishomero nkarumwe omwana kuza ishomero ko tambara ho mu 100 kilometers ko kati mo tambara just 1 kilometer. Nana kana kinya kesa tunkaza ishomero nkasoma kuri ko tandi kishomero wene myaka ikumanda pavu. Baba nonga simu rero ko ni sokore wanangu MKJ no gaba.
We've gone to another topic.
From Nyacharara to Mbara parents here. They start working at 4 a.m.
This is their choice.
4 a.m. And we are here talking about that.
Okay, Council Wenje,
yes.
President Museveni, in a statement that I didn't understand very well, communicated to the public that he is now blessing General Mbadi with more power of the command of the UPDF. Did you understand anything?
No. Actually, that statement should lead General Mbadi to answer or to question himself. What has he been doing? Has he actually been in total control of the army? No. Because you see, that statement, vague as it is founded under Section 8 of the UPDF Act. Now, that provision does not provide for empowerment or the delegation of powers from the commander in chief to the CDF. That provision provides for the appointment by the commander in chief of the CDF. So there's nothing new which Museveni was doing. And if he intended to delegate his powers as the commander in chief, that decision was unconstitutional and illegal. And I want to ask the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency Rupa Jessica, to come to our senses and ask, where is my power? Because Museveni cannot delegate the position of commander-in-chief to anybody apart from her as the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda. So what she should ask herself is, me and General Mbadi, who is superior. So that delegation by Museveni is unconstitutional, wrong, null and void, and inconsequential. And the vice president must rise up to the occasion and ask, where are my powers?
That's the first time saying the same.
If you are the commander in chief and if you want to delegate, I'm the next one, not any other person. Then also Mbadi should also ask, am I really exercising powers which are vested in me by the constitution? No. So he has usurped the powers of the vice president of the
Okay,
Republic of Uganda.
thank you.
Because as the CDF, he cannot be at the same time the commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief can either be the president or the vice president or the speaker.
Okay, thank you. John, what happened when Museveni came out and announced, General Museveni, the commander-in-chief of the land forces, I have appointed...
Not land forces, commander-in-chief
of the armed forces, I beg your pardon. I have ceded power of command of the UPDF to General Mbasu. What was Mbasu doing the whole time?
We have a lazy habit of not reading certain things in detail.
And I want to take exception on the military of that
you spoke for 6 minutes.
I want him to read the content and substance of the instrument.
Yes. It is possible that he read the instrument.
But I'm saying,
it is here. Just by virtue of the powers enshrined under Article 98 of the Constitution, I presented the UPDF establishment.
What does that mean?
An instrument of delegated command, control, and administration. An instrument of delegated.
Answered yourself.
Yes. So what has Mbasu been doing the whole time?
I am saying, no, the 2020, I think you need to give me more time to explain it to you. So
and our time is fast spent. You do it.
The 2021 UPDF instrument he's talking about is majorly to do with things of command, control, some new changes, merging some certain units. Number 2, looking at the weaponry and strength. Long time ago, a COI or a company used to have around 136 soldiers. President Museveni is saying, in this kind of fighting, do we need 136? Should they be 150? Should they be 60? It was supposed to be commanded by a major, but now some major.
That's administrative. No,
yes, this
what you want us to hear.
What you want to hear was absolutely nothing. Nothing.
So what was Museveni doing?
Museveni was saying,
yes,
to implement this.
Yes,
he said it very clearly.
Yes.
To implement this. Because as commander-in-chief, you can implement it yourself. He said, to implement this, I have my CDF that the constitution allows me to appoint. He is going to head. I have directed him and instructed him and given him power
and the responsibilities and the roles of the CDF known.
No, but you see the roles of the CDF cannot create a new military structure. Okay. A CDF, wait a moment.
Oh, yes.
A CDF, we have a new division, a new infantry division called Mountain Division, based in Muti in Fort Portal. The CDF at any time cannot come today and say, I have created a new division. It cannot happen. It has to be the commander-in-chief. Now, the problem with Uganda's case is that the commander-in-chief is a retired 4-star general and a guerrilla war historical. What does that mean? It means that there are certain aspects of the army he understands more than some of his generals. If the president of Kenya wanted to do the same, he would do it on the advice of the military council. Now, here in Uganda, for now, the president being a military person, but who trained as a military at 21, you see, now he's a trained 4-star retired general. He was in guerrilla, he was everywhere. There are certain things he says, these must change in command, in administration, in control of the officers, men and military.
Thank you.
Now, that's the last thing. But there is nothing like doing. He was not saying. He didn't say.
Can you answer that?
No, but I'm saying
he cannot do that in confinement with the law.
UPDF Act.
Which law has he broken?
You are saying which law has he broken?
One.
Article 98.
What does which one?
He's the commander-in-chief.
Yes.
And he has the duty to respect and abide by all the rules of Uganda.
He has not said that Mbadi is going to be the deputy commander-in-chief. You will see understanding, and none has said that. President Museveni is saying the new UPDF structure.
But why don't
is going to be implemented, and this implementation may take 3, 4, 5 years. Is going to be implemented by Mbadi. What does it entail? It entails things to do with merging some units. It entails it has absolutely nothing. Because people in Kasese, I was in Kasese 2 weeks ago. People in Kasese in Kanyampara in Munkunyi Sub County had celebrated that. Just the villagers were just also happy the way we no. They thought that the president has given part of his mission. The man came and told them there is no any extraordinary power that has been given to me by the president. The president has only instructed
what has the CDF been doing all this time
of the UPDF. This cannot be done
by the CDF himself.
Okay, thank you. Peter Mpaka, you padding short in a second.
Thank you, SJ. Now, for me, I take note that all of us here, we are not security experts. And security is a very sensitive issue that we shouldn't just because I want to take exception from Wenje's statement that the president's statement is not vague. If there is a man who does his homework and does it very well, it is.
So what was the president doing according to you?
What the president was doing is he has I'm telling I've taken no you have said this is what I hate. This guy submit and I'm quiet. When I start to submit they start
our time is first spent.
So and you're not protecting me, they're wasting the time.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is this UPDF establishment, whatever it's called, to me it is a Bible for the UPDF. It is up to them to follow it or to shelve it. But wait, I have 2 things to finish with. Or to shelve it and it collects dust. Number 2.
And very lastly.
Yes, and very lastly. For me, I think the president is preparing all ways possible to see that his son Kainerugaba takes power. Because we have 5 full generals in this country. And of all of them, they have served as CDFs except Kainerugaba Muhoozi. So I'm wondering why. It's not a vague statement. Somebody needs to be very careful with that statement. Why he's ceding power into the CDF.
Okay, thank you.
Peradventure, Mbasu is no longer a CDF. Kainerugaba takes over. It is easy for him as an overall commander of all elements to command and cause a coup in this country.
Okay, thank you. Spencer, please say bye and we get out of here. Please.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Maybe in a statement.
A statement. So no. Now, I will speak for my party.
Yes.
Which is now FDC, but is going to transform into something else. I have a.
You've been a beautiful ardent listeners of the Big Seat. Thank you, Spencer Mahanjere. Thank you, Peter Mpaka. Thank you, Council Bwenje. Thank you, John, tonight to be a part of this. Let's meet next week on the Big Seat. Good morning.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station.